Well, gee, Nick, now what do I say? What Nick said, right? Ever follow up somebody and they basically say what you were going to say and you go, oh, now what am I going to do? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to A4A for the lovely invitation. And so I'm not going to tell you all about Congress and all about the things that Nick just discussed. Instead, I'm going to talk about an event that I attended last Saturday in Dallas. It was presented by Preservation Dallas in conjunction with the Braniff Historical Society. And sitting there, it dawned on me how appropriate it was to listen to these people, to listen to how the airplane went on this extravagantly off-the-wall growth plan in 1978, and especially to watch these people and how proud they were. So proud, as a matter of fact, that they were actually flight attendants in their uniforms. Anybody remember the Poochie helmets? The bubble heads? There was a woman with one of them on. The Poochie uniforms throughout the 70s, into the Halstons of the 80s. And then they talked about the food. I watched commercials. The Chateaubriand, carved at your seat, right? The cordon bleu. And then chicken cordon bleu. And then someone stood up and said, oh, but do you know the inside story of the chicken cordon bleu? Because of the pressurization, when people would cut into it, it would explode. And the juices would go all over everywhere, and we told them that was deliberate. It was all part of the show. And sitting there, I said to myself, you know what? This is what's wrong with the airline industry today. We are still living with those memories. In their minds, I don't care if the median age in that room was 70, that perception of what air travel should be, the Chateaubriand, the exploding chicken, is still alive and well today. And I think we're one of the few industries where that is the case. So why are we here? Change, disruption. We hear it in regard to all kinds of other industries, but the airline industry seems to be stuck. It just seems to be in slow motion, right? As Nick said, people complain when their flights are delayed. They have every right to complain because they feel they should be at their destination on time. Frankly, I think they should get to their destination on time. So where are we today as an industry? And how are we going to create the change and disruption that we need to get where we need to be? And I'm not talking about the musical management chairs game that just happened between United and American, although that was pretty lively, and for this industry it was pretty exciting. What do we have to do? Well, one of the things, Hunter is going to come up on the next panel. Hunter K. is one of the analysts that I quote most frequently in plain business banter, and there's a reason for it. He's very intelligent. He's also not afraid to say what he really thinks. But Hunter and I disagree on one piece of the puzzle in terms of how we judge the airline industry today. For years and years and years, the passenger revenue per available seat mile has been the financial indicator used to say, okay, this airline is financially viable, it's financially healthy, or no, it's not. And why is this? Well, I would argue that because in the past, back there with the exploding chickens, what would happen if, let's say, the cost of fuel had dropped by 50%? We all know what would have happened. We would have seen a cutthroat fare war that would have left at least one, if not two, maybe even three participants dead. I mean, out of business. That's not the case anymore. As Nick alluded to previously, last year we saw the price of fuel drop precipitously. It is my opinion that the price of oil is not going to rise in any great fashion for the next, at least 2 to 3 years, maybe even longer. People in Houston don't like to hear that. But the U.S. has actually created its own hedge because of our domestic levels of production. So if the Saudis do decide to get frisky, and they do decide to change production levels, guess what? We can get frisky right back. And we can start to increase the production on a domestic level. As a result, I don't think that Wall Street has quite caught up to the idea that PRASM is an antiquated measure to measure the health of the airline industry. Rather, I think the airline should be judged just as any Fortune 500 company on profitability. To look at the whole picture. This comes back also to the subject of operations, which was mentioned previously by Nick. You'll hear a lot of talk today about the government side, obviously, TSA, customs, you name it, right? Next gen, we could go down the whole list, airports in general, and how they affect the airline's ability to do what they were supposed to do. So I would like to switch gears again and put it at the feet of the airlines. The big three legacy airlines that we now have in the United States basically have IT structures and management structures that are little changed from the days of the exploding chicken. And I would argue that we have just now begun to see some change on those management levels to understand this. But there is a long way to go. And there is a long way and a lot that can be done on the part of the airlines themselves to improve operations and efficiency. So I myself am looking forward with great anticipation to hearing more, not only today, but as we go through the next few years, of how the airlines themselves intend to disrupt, to change, and improve the industry for customers and investors. Thank you.